Yo, one of the biggest R&B stars in the world, who's from Sacramento,
Yeah, man.
is in the studio with us right now. Victoria Monet, thanks for coming through. We're super
Yeah,
excited about this.
absolutely,
Thank you so
absolutely.
much.
Jaguar's a monster.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's incredible. That is incredible. Like R&B is in a really, really good place right
Mhm,
now.
mhm.
But your album, I don't think that's a biased opinion either. Like your album is sitting at the top right now.
Wow. Sheesh,
Fire,
thank you
Yeah.
so
fire.
much.
One of the R&B albums of the year. Didn't
Wow.
disappoint.
Wow.
Did you
Tried.
when you were putting that project together? Did you feel like you had?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I felt really, really good about it
Yeah.
every time I played it for people. Because you know, when you make something that you love, you have that feeling when you want to play it for somebody or show them what you've made or show them your artwork or whatever play you made.
Mhm,
And when it's good, you're just excited to do that. And so when I was playing it for people, I had that feeling.
mhm.
Um, I just
There's
knew
no
it
better
felt.
feeling than knowing when you bodied something, right? Like knowing like you just like put everything into a project. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I did that.
Yeah, you know what? It's really an ode to my team. There was so much patience that went into making the project
Yeah.
and knowing when it was done because there's pressures of people online being like, just drop the album 3 years later, late, and it's just like this imaginary time frame that people have. So
Yeah.
just to resist that and really take your time and make something that you really know when it's complete was hard for me, for my team, and for fans that were waiting just to have that patience. So I appreciate everybody who waited.
And we talk about the album, but I mean, on my mama. I mean, this thing's going crazy. I remember when I first heard that song because I was already a fan. Coastin' was my jam. You know, we
Thank
love Coastin'.
you. Thank
And when I
you.
knew Victoria Monet on my mama, I heard the song, and like I said, you were already a star. You were already doing your thing.
Thank you.
I heard that. I said, oh, we got one of them ones right here. It's even bigger than I originally thought.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way with that particular song?
On my mama.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, to be honest, about On My Mama. When I wrote the song, it was just kind of a message for me.
Mm,
And I had it sitting around. I didn't play it for my manager at first, and she got really upset with me. Like, why didn't you send me this immediately?
It's
And
a
I just wasn't
smash.
sure. Like
Yeah.
I was going through a lot of things hormonally after, being postpartum. And I actually also had the second verse open for a long time because I was looking for a feature.
Mm.
And sent it around to a few people. No one really hopped on it. So I was like, all right, I'm making this a single. So I'm just going to
Yeah.
finish the second verse.
Hey, we
And so
did
that's how
that.
we got
Deep in my bag, like my grandma
with
with
a
a peppermint.
peppermint.
Come on now.
Yes.
When you
Yes.
make records, because music trends change and evolve like so frequently, and now you get like a lot of like 90-second records or 2-minute records. You get
Yeah.
like social media records now.
Yeah.
Water challenges and different challenges that hit because a song hit and resonated with somebody. Is any of that stuff in your mind when you're putting together music?
Actually, I try to separate it. When I first started making music, being that I was a dancer here in Sacramento first, shout out to Boogie Monstars, okay? I was really more focused on trying to make something that I could dance to, tempo, and like, trying to make sure it had this thing. But then I just shied away from that and really focused on making songs that I genuinely like that reflect my musical taste,
Yeah.
sonic taste, and when things just happen to fall into place, then I can take the next step and look at what the visuals look like or
Yeah.
how I can make this appeal to masses by doing a skit or doing some kind of visual or choreography that is catchy or
Yeah.
something. So I try to separate the two because otherwise I feel like I'd be operating more like an A&R or like,
Yeah.
someone in a suit, but I want to operate full-heartedly as a creative.
And that stuff kind of happens organically because didn't that happen with Coastin'? Because you did the Soul Bloom performance and there wasn't like a Coastin' challenge or something like that with the dancing and
Well, it
everything.
was actually some cut. It was a
That's
song. Yes.
that's it.
So
That's
like
it.
I
Yeah.
I have these bed creaks in my song, and so there's bed creaks in some cut. So in the live performance, I used it as a transition to get from one thing to another and have a dance break. And this dance break did really well. Unfortunately, that's not my song. So like my friends are hearing it on the radio, some cut all over again.
Yeah.
And it just shows you the power of social media and like
Mhm.
TikTok. And when some people are doing a challenge, that it really can catapult the influence of a song and just do all these things. So you hope for it.
Mhm.
Obviously, that's what you want. But I try not to think about that when I'm initially creating something. I let that just be a secondary thing. And sometimes you just can't call what will catch for people, and just organically happens, you know.
Mm-hmm.
For those that don't know, this is home.
It's home. Yes, I'm
And
home.
like, where did you grow up? Where did you go to school?
I grew up in South Sac and
South
Elton
Sac, stand
Road.
up. You know what it is, baby.
Yeah,
Let's go.
yes. Florin Road, and then when I was in high school, my mom moved to Wilton. You guys know where Wilton
Yeah,
is?
yeah,
A little
well,
bit
yeah.
far, but I went to Sheldon, so it was like 40-minute drive from
Sheldon
me.
Husky,
Sheldon
stand
High
up.
School.
You know what I mean? I was a McClatchy guy, so you know,
Okay,
it's all, yeah, it's
see
all
you.
good.
You're gonna talk bad about Sheldon when you leave. That's what he does.
Don't do
I
it.
mean, you know, I got
That's what he
people
does
over
about
at
all the
Sheldon,
schools
but
in
you know, I didn't
South
have.
Sac.
So I went over and coached over at Consume Soaks and Sheldon. We had a little, but I got good people over there at Sheldon. I
But
got good
here's the
people.
thing, Sheldon is a performing arts school,
It
so
is.
I begged my mom to go to Sheldon even though I wasn't in the district to go there. So we
Mhm.
used one of my friend's address in order to be able to even go.
Mhm.
So I just had it in my head that I really wanted to go to Sheldon. My cousin went to Sheldon. I was like, I want to go there. It's a performing arts school, and so we finessed our way up in
It made it happen.
Sheldon.
It made it happen.
Yeah.
I saw something.
That's how I
on,
got this job. I just finessed my way in and it worked. Yeah, like
Hey!
so sometimes you just gotta hustle.
Yes, you
I
know what you
saw. I
want.
saw something, and you can lay it out exactly how it went down if you want to. But I think you posted something on your stories or on Twitter about a text message. I think it was right before the tour. And I think your aunt sent you a text message, and it was a picture of you two, and you said this was the last picture we took when you said you were about to move to LA and become a star. Was it like that simple? Like you kind of went to LA on a whim? I'm gonna make it, or what? How did that story go? Did you just kind of
Well,
leave on your own,
what
or?
happened was, I was always performing in Sacramento, and I knew what I wanted to do. I was a dance teacher at Step One. I was also working at Golden One. Shout out to Golden One, and still pursuing music and going into the studio when I could, with local producers and people who I made connections with. And I had my music on my MySpace. It's telling you how
Oh
long ago
man!
this
my
was.
goodness.
Shout out MySpace. Shout
Oh
out
my
Tom.
goodness.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
the top 8. Okay. I had my music on my MySpace, and I got this email from a super producer named Rodney Jerkins saying, "Would you come audition for my girl group?" And so I went and auditioned, and the requirement was to move to LA within the 2 weeks. Now in my head, I already planned to move to LA, but I was working 3 jobs, teaching at 2 studios and working at Golden One, so I could save enough to go. But this kind of catapulted this situation. So I had a family goodbye party at Golden Corral, and my family was just like offering money, like trying to support the dream. And we had taken a picture with one of my cousins, Frances, and she sent me that picture to tell me like, this is, we took this in 2009 when Victoria moved away to pursue music. So
That's what's up, man.
yeah,
That's
it's
dope.
crazy.
Yeah.
Golden Corral. That was my favorite part of
Golden
the story.
Corral.
the party at Golden Corral.
Yeah.
And now you're performing on the Tonight Show.
Crazy.
Yo,
It's
that was
killed that
big.
performance too, by
Yeah,
the
that
way.
was
Bodied
huge.
that.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I was so nervous. But everyone there was so nice. It was almost like I feel like I picked up where things somewhat left off, because the last performance I did on television was for Jimmy Kimmel, but it was like the week before shutdown, before COVID. So that was the thing I could do. We had all these plans that year that kind of, got pushed to the side. And then I had a baby in between. I have a 2.5-year-old.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So this performance feels like a full circle thing where, okay, it's a late night.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know though, like you're booming right now as an artist, but I mean, you're a songwriter. You came into the game a little bit with your dancing, like you talked about, but the songwriting for Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
And I'll speak for myself here. I mean, we're just a sports show, so we talk about like this player is a Hall of Famer, an All-Star. We talk about Domantas Sabonis, right? And like he's a 3-time All-Star. If he makes another 2 All-Star games, now we got to start talking about Hall of Fame and all this other stuff. Well, your resume, you're writing for Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
You've got your own stuff. You've got a monster in Jaguar. You got a monster in On My Mama. Turning into a Hall of Fame career as a songwriter. But just talk about like that whole process of, number one, writing for somebody else and then stepping out and kind of doing your own thing as an artist.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting because I get that often is like, some people ask me, what made you decide to like be an artist after songwriting? And in my head, it's like, well, I've always been an artist. It's just that I was introduced to a lot of people as a songwriter first,
Hmm.
but I just kind of was in the background still lifting,
Yeah.
putting work in as an artist so that when those curtains open and it's time for me to perform, then I'm ready to
Yeah.
do so. But I like the fact that I was able to meet so many different people through by way of songwriting, even connections with artists,
Mhm.
because my pen would get me in different rooms, and if I were just different rooms, and I would if I were just singing and
Mhm.
just performing. So I look at it as like God's perfect plan, and I kind of went in a certain order. I wasn't really heavily pursuing my artistry seriously until I felt like I could take that break
Mm.
because Ariana, we had written number ones with her.
Yeah.
Finally, they went, I reached kind of like this huge goal that I had as a songwriter was to have Hot 100 number ones.
Mm.
So then I was like, okay, now I've accomplished that. I can really sit back and take 3 months off of songwriting and just focus on my album.
Yeah.
And that's where I got Jaguar One.
We kind
Fire.
of,
Yeah.
Fire.
I'll take an L because you mentioned the name, and I should have elaborated on it for people that don't know. Rodney Jerkins has worked with everybody,
Yeah.
like everybody.
Mhm.
So to get it, like I'm talking like Michael Jackson, like everyone you can think of, he's
Mhm.
worked with them. So to get a call like that, like that's like I'm sorry I glossed over it as if that wasn't a big deal. That's kind of a big deal when a producer of that ilk reaches out to you.
It's crazy. This is why I had to go. I asked my friends, I was like, I literally have to do this, right? Like they're like, yeah, girl, like just to call off work and because it's like this
Yeah, the dude
thing where
with
you're
the studio in South Sac didn't reach out to you,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So it was just a perfect storm of opportunities,
Yeah.
and so that's also where I met this really amazing songwriter, vocal producer named LaShawn Daniels, who was Rodney's right hand in writing a lot of the smashes. He wrote Full Moon. He's
Mm.
written all the Michael Jackson
Mhm.
smashes. So I got to study him, and that's where a lot of the songwriting isms come in too, because he vocal produced the girl group that I was in. So I got to see him mumble and make songs from scratch, and I got to see how he stacks his harmonies and like
Mhm.
gain those skills that I could take into my songwriting and into my artistry.
Yeah.
So it was just like even the things that I didn't understand at the time. When I look back, I'm like, got it.
Yeah.
I understand the game plan. I see it now. So
Yeah.
I'm just thanking God.
Let's talk about the tour real quick. Victoria Monet's in
Yeah.
the building here on D-Lo and KC. Tour went crazy. Obviously, you were supposed to be here in Sac about a month ago. The venue couldn't hold you. They had to reschedule. You're gonna be at Hard Rock tomorrow. There was one when the tickets went on sale. What happened with one of them got resold for like $8,000 or something like that. Like they was going
They
crazy
really tried
over the ticket. How's the tour been, man? How was it? The shows look electric. How's it been for you?
Thank you. I've been having a lot of fun. Definitely having a lot of fun. It's definitely a balance of, uh, you know, trying to, still maintain all of my presence as a mother and still give my 100% to my
Mhm.
first headlining tour because it's been a dream since, like I mentioned, 2009, I moved to LA for
Mhm.
this. So the journey has been long, but I just feel so happy to be wrapping it up in Sacramento. That's like,
Yeah.
it's such a full circle thing for me.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's about to go crazy. I'm having so much fun. I'm tired, but I'm happy. So yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Feels
That's
like a
dope.
homecoming tomorrow.
Yeah. It's gonna be real dope.
You perform, you sing, you
Yes.
dance, you songwrite. Like, what's
Yes.
your favorite?
You know what? I think I'd have to name artistry as my favorite because that's where I can do all three. I could dance, I could sing, I could write.
Mhm.
As a songwriter, I feel like, well, then I can't sing. If I was only just singing, in studio, then I can't perform. There was something missing. But as an artist, then I get to tap into each one of the things that I like. So I'd have to just say, being an artist.
When you write a song, do you ever like, no, you're singing it wrong. No, not like that. You're supposed to sing it like this. This is how, like, you envision a certain way, I assume, when you write it. But when you give your art to someone else, do you?
Well, that's a whole other thing that I do. I also vocal produce.
Mm.
So if you're just a songwriter, you don't really have the say. You give your song, how you wrote it, and you let the artist interpret it. But then if they hire a vocal producer,
Mhm.
then your job is to tell say like, sing it like this, try a little more passion here, like use your lower register here, let's cut this vocal up and make it sound like this, maybe try this harmony. So that's another element of what I do is vocal produce. So sometimes I vocal produce the songs that I've written, sometimes I don't. So but if I do vocal produce, and I am able to give my input on, you know, how I think it would sound better, and just work with the artist to say, sing it like this, or try this, or lay things like that. And I also engineer too, so I like cut their vocals and
doing it all. Look at Victoria, let's have a little fun though. It's ESPN 1320. I gotta ask her, are you a sports fan at all?
You know what? I have a cousin that's in the NFL, so I go where he goes.
Where's he at right now?
He's at the Raiders.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, they have
Amir
a rival day.
Abdullah. Yes.
So, your thoughts on them firing their coach? That was a joke.
You know what?
Don't answer.
No comment. You, I mean, you from Sac. I mean, were you able to follow what was going on with the Kings and the excitement that happened with them making the playoffs last year? Like, are you aware of what's going on with the Kings?
Tell me everything.
Oh, they're killing it right now.
Yeah.
We need to have you like sing the national anthem at some point. Either sing the national anthem or perform outside on Doko.
Yeah, I need the halftime. I need the half. You know, it would be crazy because
perform in front of the beam. That's what we need.
Come on now, viral.
One of my first performances as a kid was at a halftime show at the Kings games at Arco Arena.
Mm-hmm.
They used to do these I guess it was like a seminar where you could like have your child learn for like a day or two a routine, and then at the halftime they just let all these kids go out and perform whatever they learned. I was one of those kids. And then from there I became a Monarchs fan. I was like, oh, the girls are so cool.
We all love the Monarchs. We wish they'd come back. I don't know if we were just talking about that earlier. We don't know if they'll come back, but we all love the Monarchs when they're out here.
Well, we'll be loving that second album, that next album, whenever it drops. That's what we're waiting for.
You know what? I think the first thing is a Jaguar 2 Deluxe. So maybe I can give some more song. I'm hoping to give more songs to the album that people love as much as they love the album. That's the goal.
That's kind of the move now.
Yeah.
It's like you drop the album, and then after everyone's like really hyped over it, like the deluxe version comes out.
Yeah.
That's just the move of the industry now.
Yeah.
SZA putting out a whole nother album and calling it the
SZA
deluxe.
hasn't adding 12 songs to her
hey,
album.
it's like that is a whole other album. She works so
record.
hard.
Yeah.
She works so hard, and she's killing it. So it makes a lot of sense why she has so much music.
We want the album. We want more music from you.
Yes.
But you're just finishing the tour. What's next? Are you going to take some time to just chill out? You said, be a mom and everything, or are you back on the grind?
I'm back out. I go to I have a couple shows overseas in London, and then I have a
talk that talk. We going overseas.
Yes.
We got that overseas talk.
Yes,
all right.
Sacktown's going to London, and then we headline a festival in Brazil right after that. So. And then there's a few things in between that I've got to do that I don't know that I can announce yet, but I'm working. There's no sleep right now. We sleep later.
I hear you.
Yo, your work is amazing. Thanks for coming to hang out with us.
Thank you so much.
It's meant a lot to us.
Thank you.
To I know the city and everyone who enjoys your music. So thanks for coming through.
Thank you, 916.